excited and happy. Thank you all for having me. And one of the main reasons I've been asked is to help keep things on time. So I'm going to try to attempt to do that. We're recording. Thank you, everyone who's gotten together here to make this go. Oh, I see the YouTube is functioning now. Well done.
I
think we got it.
We got it.
Very
Bravo,
good.
team.
Well done.
Good job. I'm impressed. All right, so the first thing on our agenda is announcements. Do we have any announcements? I assume I will see it here if you raise your hands on Zoom. I see Kirsten.
Yes, Al, we actually want people to raise their hand in the chat box. So you'll need to monitor the chat box for hands. We don't use the emojis for hands.
Okay.
So that we use the chat box for people to queue up in order of priority based on what they, their hand in the chat box. So raise your hand in the chat box if you have an announcement.
Perfect.
And
yes, I have an announcement. I'd like to announce that the elders are having their December holiday gathering at Washington Park Community Center on Saturday, December 17th from 1 to 4 p.m. It's a potluck. Bring your own plates and utensils. There is no alcohol. And there will be a Zoom connection for people who just want to kind of come in. And I guess I'll get that to Vanessa so she can put it on the webpage. And I'd like to thank Jane Elliott, John Pincus, Lisa Cooley, and Carolyn Gessel for helping arrange all this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Sue.
Hi, everybody. The Eugene Saturday Market's holiday market is in full swing. We're there every weekend at the Lane County Fairgrounds. The last weekend is the Friday the 23rd and then Saturday the 24th, where we close at 4 o'clock. Come on down. It's a lot of fun. The other part of it is the Caring Fund raffle. The Caring Fund is the fund that was set up to help artists in crisis. We are having our annual raffle. Tickets are available at the holiday market, and the drawing is on Christmas Eve. And as Norma can tell you, you do not have to be present to win. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Wonderful. Are there any other announcements? All right, the next item on the agenda is the minutes from last month. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes? Is there a motion to approve those minutes, or are there any amendments that need to happen?
So moved. This is John.
Thank you, John. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Thanks. I think I caught Lisa first. John motions to approve the minutes. Lisa seconds. Is there any opposition?
John Alexander, to be clear about that, there's two of us out here.
Thank you, John Alexander. Hearing no opposition, I will approve that motion. The next step is time that's set aside for membership comments. So this is, as I understand it, up to 2 minutes to discuss any item that is not currently on our agenda for today. Oh, do you need to approve your agenda for today first?
yes.
Perfect, thank you. Do you approve your agenda for today first?
Yes.
Thank you.
Somebody has a YouTube feed in the background.
Yeah,
their
Mark,
browser.
I believe
Mark?
that's coming from Mark here.
Mark, I need you to close your YouTube browser.
It's in the background.
Perfect.
I was able to mute.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. All right. So has anybody had a chance to look over the agenda for today? And are there any amendments that need to be made for the agenda today? Hello, Hillary.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, we're hoping that the old business of the FPC financial planning revenue projection motion, that we can put that off until the board budget meeting, which is the late January board meeting. So I don't know if we need a motion to do that later, or if we can just do that in this part of the meeting.
I think that's fine. Are there any objections to this? Paxton, I see your hand.
Yeah, since I'm the maker of the motion, I was just going to ask that it be postponed till the January, table till the January meeting.
Perfect.
Second the motion.
Hillary, is it better to do it at the first January meeting, do you think, or the budget meeting, January meeting? I kind of thought the budget meeting, but
We had talked about doing it at the budget meeting.
there
that
might
was
be a lot of discussion at the budget meeting.
In the conversation we had earlier, we had talked about doing it at the board budget meeting at the end of January.
I'm sure that you could probably just add it to
That's
it.
preferable to me
agenda
too,
you
if
like.
that's, if we have the time. So table it to the January budget meeting.
We will take it off of this agenda for now. And please add it to any agenda you think is best fitting in January. Are there any other amendments to this agenda for today?
I don't know if you can see my hand, but I raised a hand in chat.
Oh, sorry. I've got to get used to that. Yeah, AJ, please.
Yeah, I'd like to rescind my motion. That's on old business today.
Okay, I see that here. Are there any objections to that? All right, we will rescind those two items. Thank you very much. Let's see. I gotta check hands here. John.
Yeah, under new business, the sentence about new business item must be submitted to the board president. My understanding that is the agenda item to vote on that as a policy, as a procedure for the board. Is that not correct, Tom?
That would be new business for the next board meeting. Just more of a heads up that we'll be looking at more detailed motions forthcoming.
Yeah, so to make it clear that that's the agenda item and not just the instructions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Any other amendments to this agenda before we start it? See no hands on camera. I see no hands in the chat. Do we have a motion to approve this agenda for tonight?
I move that we approve the agenda for tonight.
Second.
Is that a second from Sandra? Thank you. Any objections? Perfect. Okay, now is the time for membership comments. I believe any member has up to 2 minutes to speak throughout the night and can do so now on any topic not currently on the agenda for tonight. Are there any membership comments? And I will look for hands in the chat on the Zoom meeting. I see a hand from Amy Hand. You are recognized.
Hi, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to touch base on two things that I should have said during announcements. One is the Veneta Light Parade. is this coming Thursday, the 8th at 7 o'clock. And the Fair Cares meeting is this Thursday at 6 o'clock. So you have to choose your alliances. There you go. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Amy. Are there? All right. And are there any other membership comments?
I'm trying to wave my hand, but I don't know if it's working or not.
All right. I recognize you, Chris. Please go ahead.
I just wanted to announce the passing of one of our fair members. Roscoe Doberly passed away this week. He worked construction crew and communications crew.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. So did you hear me?
Yes, we
Okay.
heard you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other membership comments today? Okay. I'm going to move on to the staff report. It looks like this is the executive director's report.
Thank you, Al. Appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who is in attendance tonight. Appreciate your time. Here goes my report. So financials, the staff budgets were presented to the Budget Committee on November 21st and November 29th. Crew budgets will be reviewed by the Budget Committee in January of 23. Capital expenditure requests will be reviewed by the Budget Committee in February and presented to the board at the March board meeting. We are still working on quotes for the SVOG, which is the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Audit that must take place by December 2023. We are also working on quotes for our financial review and 990 for 2022. Culture Jam, the Culture Jam program director position was posted on the .org and .net site on November 28th. It was also posted on Craigslist and boosted again today. The application window is November 28th through December 19th at 5 p.m. The Culture Jam dates will be August 4th through August 11th, 2023 at Alice's. So if you know anybody that is qualified to be our new Culture Jam program director, please encourage them to apply by December 19th at 5 p.m. I also just want to give a big shout out to Robin Bernardi, who has been a stellar steward of the Culture Jam program, and we look forward to her guiding our new employee through their first year as the Culture Jam program director. Guideline changes. There are some changes this year. We started posting it on November 1st, and it will close on December 15th. So be sure if you have any guideline changes, either operational or policy, to submit those by December 15th. The policy changes will be presented to the board as new business on January 9th and voted on at the February 2023 board meeting. Operational changes will be reviewed by staff to determine if they will be included in the 2023 guidelines. Fair Care has now met with the backup managers and the board on the draft progressive solutions policy. The membership meeting is being held this Thursday, December 8th at 6 p.m. The Zoom link is on the .net site. We are hopeful that we will have a policy for the board to approve in February or March, and that is based on the feedback that we receive and whether we feel we need to hold additional stakeholder meetings. Hybrid meetings per a board motion. I am reporting back that we are still looking at locations for hybrid board meetings. We are trying to find a free location, but have found a couple that have the technology needed at a very low cost. We expect to have a recommendation for 2 to 3 locations by the February board meeting. Administration, the Eugene office will be closed December 19th through December 30th. Staff will be in the office, but we will be closed to walk-in traffic. We will reopen on January 2nd, 2023. All employee annual reviews have been completed. Projects that we are working on, we have completed the Doug's Green gutter replacement. The Durables dishwasher is installed and they are going to begin training on the new equipment. The Chillville roof has been completed. Entertainment applications are currently up on the .org site and will close on February 15th, 2023. Craft applications will go on the .org site in January of 23 and will close in April of 23. Food booth applications are on the .org site now and will close on January 20th, 2023. The Poster Artist 2024 applications deadline is January 15th, 2023. We have begun planning the spring fling. We will be reserving the Wow Hall on May 6th, 2023. The second of 3 DEI workshops for coordinators is scheduled for Tuesday, January 17th at 8 p.m. Coordinators will receive emails 1 month out, 1 week out, and 1 day out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kirsten. And next up is the treasurer's report. And I believe
Hi, everyone. I'm going to go, Al.
go in that.
As the facilitator, you never know whether it's going to be me or Hillary who talks or who talks first. So hi, everyone. As Kirsten said, the budget committee reviewed the staff budget. So we have completed that amount of work and looking forward to starting to go through the crew budgets. Really, that's the only thing else we have except for our focus right now is on the capacity projections and financial planning, or excuse me, revenue projections work session that is next Monday at 7 o'clock. So Hillary and I will be presenting some data for the membership, for the board and for the membership to discuss. So join us for that if you are interested in talking about capacity limits and projections and what we're going to do about our growth and the impact to the revenue projections. So 7 o'clock. Hillary, anything did I miss?
I don't think so. We got it.
Okay. All right, that's it. Thanks.
Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Hillary. The next section here on the agenda is committees, work group reports. And my understanding is that these now get emailed to Vanessa and get put up on the .net site and added to the board packet. So there will be nothing to go over directly here in this meeting, correct? I see some head nods. Wonderful.
Correct.
Thank you. The next section is old business. We have revoked the first item. The second item is updating bank signers with new officers. Sue is going to take this.
Yes, we have new officers, so we need to change our check signing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good, thank you. I move that we update our check signers to include our new officers, and I'm going to need help with this. Thank you. Tom Horn, Hillary Anthony. Well, Hillary and Linda are already on. Stephen is already on, correct?
That is
So I
correct.
think it's only Tom.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry. I had a
We have to start from scratch when we do this.
Yeah, the board motion is written under the board motions document. And I'm getting to that real quick.
Okay, thank you.
It's a short statement. Just a second. It says, the The board moves to authorize the executive director to change the bank account signers at all of our financial institutions to add the new president, remove the past president and former employees.
Second.
Thank you, AJ. The motion was put forth by Sue and seconded by AJ. Next, there will be any comments, questions, or concerns? I see a hand from John.
Just so I'm clear on what the end result of this motion is, can someone tell me who will be the check signers once this motion is approved?
Yes, the check signers will be Thomas Horn, Kirsten Bolton, Hillary Anthony, and Linda Gingrich.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other hands? Okay. Is there anyone opposed to this? And I'm going to call that motion approved. The next motion up on old business is also with Sue, disclosing a conflict of interest for Stephen Dierkoff.
Yes. Would like the board to approve the agreement with Stephen Dyerkoff for the cost of remote VPN work to provide access to the OCF office from Doug's Screen to the hub office and purchase of used computer equipment, which is in good condition at the fraction of the cost of new. The estimated total is $1,200. This was in the board packet.
Second.
Okay, so the motion is put forth by Sue and seconded by Paxton. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Any hands? There is a hand from Kirsten.
Thank you. This will provide staff the ability to work from Doug's Green and access the network at the Eugene office, allow us to continue while we're on site during the event, pre-fair, fair, and post-fair, to continue to back up our computers to the network and access data that is stored on the network. Thank you.
And thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. And I see a hand from Paxton.
I also want to thank Stephen for kind of bringing us into the 21st century. I've been really impressed with his computer work and developing a robust and reliable systems for us that we haven't had in the past. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you. John, you're next.
Is this for the purchase of used equipment? Is any of this labor?
Yes. Some of it is labor at half the cost. If it goes into overtime, for lack of a better word, Stephen plans to donate his time.
Do you have any follow-up questions, John?
I assume that there was any other estimates for this work to be able to, comparables.
I'm not sure your question.
Kirsten, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I just raised my hand. Thank you.
For sure. Direct
for
response. Kirsten.
recognizing me for the floor. Stephen has designed the system. We've approved a previous conflict of interest declaration for the install of the network. He is the one that's designed it, built it. His hourly rate is $62.50, and he's only billing us for 12 hours to do this work. It's custom work. So we have not gone out to bid for additional quotes because he is capable of doing this work at a fraction of the cost of what we would employ a outside for-profit entity to do. Thank you.
Does that answer all of your questions, John?
Yes.
Are there any other comments, questions, or concerns on this topic? All right. Is there anyone opposed to this? Then I'm going to call this one approved as well. Thank you. That takes us to new business. Tom, I understand there's going to be more on an agenda in the future, but you have something you want to say now regarding this? The topic is all new business motions must be submitted to the board president in writing 2 weeks before the next board meeting.
Correct. And with a focus on increasing the board's ability to work cohesively together and get information prior to a meeting, we're looking at a more detailed motion forthcoming in January, but we want to make sure that the information flow is healthy and accurate prior to a board meeting. So look forward to a motion coming up in January.
Thank you. I see a hand from Paxton. Paxton, is there something you wanted to say, or?
Something kind of minor, and it's just a mention on process. When you're asking for no votes, you might also ask for abstentions. That actually means something in our organization. So it was wise to check all yes, no, and abstentions. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There's definitely going to be tons of differences, and I welcome all recommendations. I appreciate it. All right, so look forward to new business from Tom in January. The next section is meeting evaluation, last round for the good of the peach. I know nothing about this, but I see a hand from Kirsten, so I will acknowledge you.
Sorry, thank you. I'm a little slow on the draw there. So I wanted to draw attention to the guideline policy changes. The board will actually vote on the changes in February. The board will see the guideline policy changes in the board packet in January. They will be posted on the .net site for the membership to review for 30 days prior to the board voting on the guideline changes. So this was a little ahead of the gun, but we wanted, I shouldn't have used that word, sorry, a little ahead of the curve. And so we wanted to get this on there so you are aware that in the January board packet, you will see the suggested policy changes from the membership at large. And then the board will have 30 days to review them. So will the membership, and the board will approve them at the February meeting. Then they will go to the graphic designer and the guidelines will be sent to print and come out of the printers around mid-March. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsten. I appreciate that clarification. The next section is last round for the good of the peach. Can anyone enlighten me?
That's usually, sir, to wrap up the meeting.
But I'm just going to put my hand up
Yeah.
here. You kind of missed the meeting evaluation. Sometimes members do have something they might want to say about the meeting. Although this meeting has gone so smoothly and is so short that it's amazing. But, you might just want to hit back to that one. And then the president's piece is the president speaking.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. I see a hand from Kirsten.
Arna actually articulated what I was going to say. So the meeting evaluation is another opportunity for not only board members, but for members present in this meeting to raise their hand and to give feedback on the meeting. And then we go into announcing the next meetings. And then Tom, the president, has a closing statement for each meeting. Thank you.
Wonderful. I love it. Okay, so we're in the wrap-up stage, meeting evaluation. Does anyone want to speak during this time for the meeting evaluation? I see a hand from Stephen Berkson.
Hi, and thank you very much for such a smooth and well-run meeting. The only thing I wanted to add is along the lines of Tom's new business for next meeting, it would be nice if there was some, and I don't know how to manage this, I don't want things to get too long, but some ability for members to put some input into new business, as there's a lot of conversation about new business over the month before it comes up as old business to be acted upon. Likewise, I'd like to see that. I think it's a great step in the right direction, and I hope it can be carried forward to where motions are put before the membership in writing in a manner that they will come before the meeting in. Absolutely. And then if you have planned to make amendments or whatever, those amendments come up in the meeting as in publicly vetted. And then there needs to be some work on the consistency of being able to provide member input about that, whether it's a friendly amendment or a debated amendment, and whether or not they put in input on the original motion, should they be able to speak on the amendment. These things need to become more consistent. Thank you very much. It's a step in the right direction and it's a fantastic meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm seeing head nods and note taking, so I think you're being heard. Kevin, I see your hand next.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for a wonderful meeting. And Al, I want to thank you and welcome you as well. Really appreciate you helping us out, and you're doing great, man. It's a learning curve, but you're doing awesome. So really appreciate you.
Thank you, Kevin. It does appear that I've been given the easiest meeting to start with, which is very nice. And I'm very lucky. Sandra, you're next.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this is probably going to be an Oregon Country Fair record for the shortest meeting ever. But it was, you did a great job, and thank you for taking this on, Al.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Paxton.
I too appreciate facilitation. I think this will help us move quicker, faster. And it's close to a record for some of the fastest meetings ever. We've had some in less than an hour, but not very often. Thank you very much. And welcome.
Thank you. I feel very welcome, and I prefer a goal to work towards instead of starting at the shortest. Sue.
I also want to thank you, Al, and I want to thank the Tech Wizards for getting Zoom going on both sites. Much appreciated.
And next is Lena.
Yes, I want to say thank you for the meeting, and thank you for the email reminder with the link to the Zoom. As a member, I find that very helpful to have that quick, easy link to be able to join in. And it's been a while since I've been at a board meeting, and this is amazing. Thank you.
Wonderful. Any other hands for meeting evaluation? AJ.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that, or see if you guys had a plan for when we get to our busier meetings, if someone is going to look at the chat so you can facilitate the meeting, or how you plan to go forward with that, because when we have our busy meetings, it's in the past I've found it difficult for the facilitator to do both the chat and the facilitating of the meeting.
Thank you. Good question. Tom and I haven't had a chance to sit down and have a longer conversation, but we plan on it. soon. There are meetings where I will facilitate and watch the chat and do timekeeping. And I feel like I'm pretty good at recognizing when that becomes too much. And usually I will ask for a volunteer to take over that service position of watching the chat, looking for hands or timekeeping or whatever I need help with. And I feel like I'm going to get real comfortable with everybody pretty quickly and be able to request that when I need it. And I'm pretty good. And if you feel like I'm not keeping up, please do suggest that I ask for a volunteer, but I think I know my boundaries pretty well on that. And I suspect we will get to a place where I will need to ask for help. Any other hands? Lisa.
Sorry, it took me a minute to get to the mute button. Any plans to transfer the singing bowl to your possession?
You bet. You bet. I couldn't pick it up before the meeting today, but I will have it in time for the next meeting for sure. Good question. I know where it is. I just need to go pick it up. Any other hands before we move on? All right, the next section says board work session financial planning. I can read here that Monday, December 12th, 2023. It's probably 2022.
There's a typo. My bad. Sorry.
Cool. Just making sure. I was like, well, I really planned it out.
Really getting out there in the future. No, 2022. Typo. My apologies.
Monday, December 12th, 2022 at 6 p.m. via Zoom. There will be a board work session financial planning meeting. And then the next board meeting will be January 9th, 2023 for reals at 7 p.m. via Zoom. And I assume live stream to YouTube, assuming we can continue to make that work. And the last item on the agenda is the president's piece.
We do have a hand from Linda Gingrich.
Oh, sorry. Linda, you're recognized.
It's okay. It was way back when we were going into the 2023 meeting that is actually in 2022. At 7 p.m., not 6 p.m., 7 p.m. next Monday.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, Tom, take it away.
Thanks, Al. Thank you just in general, Al, for a well-run meeting. I appreciate your energy and your pacing, and you're just a really good guy. I appreciate it. I'm really honored to be able to be in service to the fair. And I've learned over time that building and sustaining high-functioning teams can be really arduous and time-consuming, but it's worth the effort. Strong board and team embodies professional standards and puts the success of a community as a whole above anything else. Our board is moving in the direction of creating stronger, more sustainable systems, and I'm pleased to be able to say our discussions are very productive as of late. Our focus is on creating sustainable systems and policies that help foster continued creativity and healthy structure at the fair. And I just want to wish everybody a wonderful winter season full of health and happiness, and just thank you for being an amazing community.
Thank you, Tom. I don't see anything after this on the agenda. Is it your custom for someone to put forth a motion to end the meeting, or do I have complete control over that kind of thing,
You would ring us out with
Yes, you
the
would,
poll.
but I don't have it today.
but you will next time. So
No.
Thank
Perfect. That's
you
what
again,
we always
Al.
Boom.
Thank you all. This has been a pleasure. It's been a wonderful meeting. And while there has been a lot of talk about how short it is, I don't want to put forth the opinion that all I care about is getting done as quick as possible. I just wanted to be clear that good dialogue is my typical aim, and communication.
Thank you, Al. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for a great
Thanks,
meeting.
everybody.
Yeah,
thank you, Al.
everybody.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank
Happy
you all.
holidays.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
Yeah.
See you
happy
in 2023.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Al. Thanks again.